Here's the best piece of divorce advice I've ever heard. Your life is bigger than one man.
Stop begging for the bare minimum. He got you flowers? That's normal. He texted you back? That's normal.
Online dating sucks. Okay? It sucks.
Stop letting men give you the bare minimum. You are the one setting the
Modern women don't appreciate anything. It's mainly the reason men are avoiding them.
I'm 40 years old and I feel like dating is 8 zillion times worse than like high school.
The more I start to talk to these guys, the more I start to realize that maybe my ex wasn't so bad after all.
Regret always comes to those who let something good get away. It's unavoidable. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
But you know, it's no wonder that men just want to new women. No wonder. When they get their heart crushed, they just say it's not worth it anymore. Because the one that you have will eventually become unhappy unless she makes some decisions. They all will get unhappy. Every last one of them.
I agree.
Okay. You got me there.
First rule of dating, if you ask her out, you're paying. If she wants to split the bill and that's important to her, that's fine, but you need to be fully prepared to pay and pay in full with tip. Do you agree?
Listen, ladies, I'm going to say this one time and one time only, and I'm going to hold your hand while I say it. But stop settling for the bare minimum. Stop it. In case you don't have a friend like me to tell you, stop settling for the bare minimum.
Here's the best piece of divorce advice I've ever heard. Your life is bigger than one man. Let's extend it. Your life is bigger than one relationship.
Take pictures of any financial documents that belong to your spouse. But then you're also going to most likely want a therapist. You're going to need a divorce lawyer, and in some cases, even a forensic accountant. So you're going to want to make sure you have a pocket of money on the side so that you can do this potentially without your spouse finding out.
Did you know that divorce can be good for your kids?
You need help.
The best advice for men in this day and age to get is to not get married in the West. When we have women giving advice like this to other women, it is the best move a man can make. Modern women don't understand the meaning of marriage. Many of them see it as a temporary arrangement, a financial safety net, or a status symbol, rather than a lifelong commitment. Women are now being encouraged to prioritize themselves above everything, including their families. They are advised to never settle, always have a backup plan, and leave if they're not happy, even if it means destroying a marriage. Listen to this woman. She said divorce is good for your kids. This is the level of delusion we're dealing with today. Instead of prioritizing stability, commitment, and the well-being of children, modern women are now justifying broken homes as a positive thing. They have convinced themselves that their personal happiness is more important than the emotional and psychological damage their kids will experience from a fractured family.
I think a lot of women, they feel like if the guy pays for the date, it means that they're trying to invest in them, which is not true, right? But what's true is, well, in my opinion, what's true is if a man doesn't pay for the first date, I don't think the person is interested in you. Of course, there are like other exceptions. So I'm saying like, even if the guy pays for you, it doesn't mean he's interested. But if the guy doesn't even pay for the first date, for sure, most likely he's not interested. That's my take on it.
We're not doing the bare minimum this year. It's bad enough that we did it last year. We're not doing it this year.
I'm 40 years old and I feel like dating is 8 zillion times worse than like high school or like my 20s. And let me tell you something, dating in my 20s was a disaster. It was horrible. Men were awful. Boys were awful. And this is so much worse. It is so much worse. What happened to you guys between, 18 and 40? I don't understand.
I just love how women are always blaming men, like it's men's fault no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're single, divorced, unhappy in a relationship, or struggling to find a man. It's always men who are the problem. But the truth is, men haven't changed. They've only adapted because a lot of women out there have changed drastically. A lot of women in their 40s right now are struggling, trying to find a good man, But those men aren't interested. They aren't entertaining the same women who spent their prime years chasing the wrong men, living the independent boss babe lifestyle, or treating relationships as disposable. These women thought they could put love on the back burner, focus on themselves, and still have high-value men waiting for them when they were ready. So again, men didn't change. They simply adapted. Women like to say that men are different now, but that's not true. The difference is that men have woken up to the reality of modern dating.
So as some know, my now ex-fiance and I split up several weeks ago. So I decided to get out there and start talking to different guys, and the more I start to talk to these guys, the more I start to realize that maybe my ex wasn't so bad after all. Is this what it's like to date in 2025? Because honestly, I'm not built for this.
Where are they? Where are all the 40-year-old men, bit of grey, good job, bit of a dad bod? Where are they? Because they're not fucking here, are they? No. Do you know what is here? A chihuahua. Where are they?
Every time I have interactions with men, I am just more and more appalled and disgusted by men and the behavior of men towards women. Like, dating in my early 20s, men actually had respect for women, relatively. You at least felt like a human being around them. You know, you at least felt like they saw you as a human and not just an object. But the increase in all of these red pill podcasts and women-hating behavior on the internet has literally poisoned the minds of men. And it was to the point that I just stopped dating entirely for the last 6 months or so. I've been trying to give dating a chance again lately. I've even been trying to date guys who are not, my typical type. But yeah, even dating guys who are not my typical type has not fixed the issue. In fact, actually, it's worse. What the f*** is a girl to do? Give up?
I believe men respect women who respect themselves. A woman who carries herself with dignity, loyalty, and genuine femininity will always be valued by men. But in today's world, where social media glorifies attention-seeking behavior, promiscuity, and entitlement, many modern women have lost that self-respect, and yet they still expect men to treat them like queens. And let's be clear, the red pill hasn't poisoned the minds of men. It has liberated them. It has opened their eyes to the reality of modern dating, making them more aware of what to look for, what to avoid, and what to no longer tolerate from modern women. It's not that men don't respect women, it's that they're no longer handing it out to those who don't deserve it. Men haven't become bitter, they've become smarter. They're choosing wisely, walking away from toxic behavior, and no longer tolerating women who bring nothing but demands and drama.
Where are all the women who lost their male partners to red pill content? Front and center, please. Because I want to know what happened. I want to know how he started off when y'all got together and how red pill content changed him and how the partnership ended. What did that look like? And I also want to know, how did it feel to lose somebody you thought you knew to something as trivial and shallow as red pill content?
I have two things for the men. Number one, what kind of a status do you have to be in with a woman before you buy her a Christmas gift? And number two, all of this nonsense about a coffee date not being a date. I have seen so many videos lately where they're like, a coffee date is not a date and it's for low value people. That is absolutely not true. And men who plan coffee dates, pay for coffee dates, and take a woman on a coffee date, you're A+. And remember, this is for men who are dating in their 40s.
Stop begging for the bare minimum. He got you flowers? That's normal. He texted you back? That's normal. He's loyal to you? That's the bare minimum. Prince Henry really gave up his royal title for his wife. And some of y'all are still really out here losing sleep over some guy who won't even text you back. And this isn't Build-A-Bear either, ladies. We are not building a man. Stop finding men that are literally like IKEA furniture, because then you're gonna spend literally 10 hours trying to fix them. If a man wants to be with you, he will make it known. There will be no guessing, no games, just facts. Stop being impressed by the bare minimum and stop allowing it. Sis, you are the prize. If he doesn't see your value, you're simply just out of his price range. So don't devalue yourself for him.
A lot of men need to start asking how much when these women say, "You're out of my price range," because seriously, what do they even mean by that? Are they insinuating they can be bought? Because that's exactly what it sounds like. And if that's the case, then let's call it what it is. Transactional relationships, not love, not commitment, or the world's oldest profession. A lot of women today constantly preach, "Don't accept the bare minimum," yet they can't even define what the bare minimum actually is. If a man paying for dates, being loyal, emotionally supporting her, protecting her, and providing for her is considered the bare minimum, then what isn't the bare minimum? At this point, the standard they're setting is completely delusional, because what they really mean is, "I want a man who does everything while I contribute nothing." And that brings us to the real question. What value is a man supposed to see in a woman who is literally doing nothing? Because a lot of modern women are out here with high expectations, yet they bring zero to the table besides their presence.
Can we just collectively, as women, leave the trash in the trash? Let's take the trash out.
Ladies, listen up. Please, for the love of God, stop giving these twos a chance. Because you are way too gorgeous and way too cute to be dealing with these twos, okay? You are giving these bums and these guys that don't deserve a fucking 10 too much confidence. I need you to understand that you are way too cute to be dealing with the bare minimum. This year in 2025, we are no longer, say it with me, no longer getting with the bare minimum. Okay? Please, for the love of God. I cannot deal with it. I cannot be looking at these bad with these fucking twos. I just cannot. Please, ladies, get it together for me. Get it together for me.
I'm very sick and tired of seeing girls acting entitled when they're dating somebody, especially in the beginning stage, like especially if it's a first date. I just watched this girl's TikTok talking about, she was showing a green screen screenshot about how this guy was trying to arrange a date and like he was trying to come to where she's at. So obviously she knows the restaurants and spots around her place because that's her neighborhood. And she's fussing over the fact that he's asking her, "Do you have any suggestions? If not, I'll pick one." Like that's literally what he said in the text message. And she's talking about how like anytime that she's trying to date somebody, like she loses all hope. What the f are you talking about? Like she's literally fussing over the fact that he doesn't have a game plan. Seriously? Of course I left a comment, by the way. I told her, like, if you want to date somebody, you need to learn how to meet people halfway. I don't know what girls think the dating is, but do you realize that you're dealing with a whole other human being? Like, okay, like, besides the whole, oh, who's the prize? Like, besides all that argument, okay? Like, whatever. Like, think whatever you want. You can think you're a prize. Absolutely. Good. But that doesn't mean that you get to treat people like shit. You're meeting someone for the first time. This is a man or guy, boy, whatever. But this is a human being that you're dealing with. And if they're showing effort, if they're trying to arrange a date with you, trying to take you out, show some reciprocity, show some mutual effort, meet them halfway, talk to them like a normal human being instead of acting like a fucking snobby bitch. Like, I see so many problems within, like, the girls too, like women too. It's like these girls be acting so entitled and then they come on social media and get validation from other toxic women and girls. It's like, this is why you never end up in a healthy relationship and then you talk shit about the same shit over and over.
Some women act like this because they expect everything to go perfect. If a man is showing effort and you're acting like a child, then clearly dating isn't for you. Relationships require maturity, understanding, and patience, not entitlement, unrealistic expectations, or a princess mentality. If you can't appreciate a man's effort and instead nitpick every little thing, you're not looking for love. You're looking for a fairy tale that doesn't exist. Just to go further into that, some of them don't even see men as human beings. They see them as walking wallets, tools to fund their lifestyle, pay for their dates, and provide without question. Or even worse, they see men as fans, people who exist solely to praise them, shower them with attention, and boost their egos. The moment a man doesn't cater to their every whim or challenge their unrealistic demands, they throw tantrums and act like he's the problem, when she really just needs to grow up.
So this message is for my ladies. Ladies, this is just to remind you not to settle, okay? Please do not settle, especially for the bare minimum. The guy, I love him, he loves me, he's the one. Girl, Now, what is this man doing to prove to you that he's the one? Because if you're already accepting the bare minimum, you know better than that. There's a difference between compromising and settling, especially for the bare minimum. We are not doing that 2025, okay? No. Please, girl, don't do it.
Hold on a second. So a man goes and gets down on one knee after spending thousands of pounds on a ring, after they're making a public declaration, after spending most weddings average about £20,000, and you're going to say he doesn't recover? No, hold on a second. I'll tell you what happens is women initiate divorce 70% of the time, and 5% of those time is only DV. The rest of the time is all these things you women talking about, emotional feeling. A man is not going to spend all that money on a ring, on a marriage, and after 5 years, 10 years, wake up one day and decide that he's going to give you half. Men don't do that.
What percentage is cheating though? Because that's quite a big thing.
No,
to
but
women.
So okay, when we speak about cheating, yes, that's a statistic. So when women speak about cheating, they act like cheating is women cheat just as much as men. So let's not play that game. So it really comes down to the fact that you wake up one day, you have not invested anything, and society and your friends tell you it's going to be better outside, it's going to be lit for you when you come outside, so you divorce your man for any reason. But it's only less than 5% is DV.
What is going on with the way men are talking to women these days?
Oh, it's the red pill content, and it's now so officially widespread and unavoidable that whilst it was originally aimed at people in like their 20s and high school, middle school years, it's reached people in their 30s and 40s, and I want to talk about it today because I've started to notice it too. Although in fairness, it really started to pick up and gain traction around like 10 years ago. So males in their 20s are now in their 30s and approaching their 40s. And this is how you ruin entire generations and spans of males and dating for everyone. And if you're not familiar with red pill content, it's a lot of things now, but originally started as like male, like gym bro influencers trying to like teach beta males how to get women. But a huge problem with that, besides the fact that men are literally just keeping each other down, is that women also have to deal with the outcomes of this, because it's teaching them to treat women like garbage, and apparently that's how you get girls, which obviously never works. And it became so prevalent that I literally gave up on dating a few years ago because it was so irritating to deal with such horrible little men.
Yeah, that's incorrect. Red isn't about teaching men to treat women like garbage. It's about teaching men to see reality for what it is, instead of blindly following the lies they've been told about dating, relationships, and female nature. It's about understanding the dynamics at play and navigating them wisely so men don't end up being used, manipulated, or disrespected. One major observation men have is this: why do women always go for the bad boys if they claim they want to be treated nicely by men? They say they want a nice guy, someone who respects them, communicates well, and treats them like a queen. But when you look at their dating history, it's filled with men who are emotionally unavailable, toxic, or outright disrespectful. Red pill doesn't teach men to treat women poorly. It teaches men to recognize this pattern, stop pedestalizing women, and respect themselves first.